Stellar Blade has launched on PC, and the launch has been pretty stellar. Blade, this game, pretty unsurprisingly, had the most phenomenal PlayStation port launch on PC that I've ever seen. According to all the reports, this is the single biggest PlayStation PC port, like, to date, at least for single-player games. I'm not sure if it was technically a bigger launch than Helldivers 2, but in terms of single-player PlayStation games, this is far and away the biggest PC port launch to date. The game is currently sitting with overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam, and it peaked at a frankly ridiculous 183,000 concurrent players. To put that into perspective, the top played games on Steam, period, across the entire platform, look like this. So, Stellar Blade, at its peak, in the middle of a work week, had enough concurrent players to comfortably be in the top 5. And I think the reasons for this game being so successful should be very obvious. Gooner jokes aside though, this game, from what I understand, is just a genuinely really good game, and apparently the PC port specifically is phenomenally well optimized. Which, it's about flippin' time people started realizing how much mileage you can get just out of having a good, like a really well optimized PC port. That kind of stuff goes a really long way on this platform. You know what else goes a really long way on this platform? Openly endorsing and embracing the modding community. Hey, other AAA studios, do more of this. Encourage people to interact with your interactive media. Why is this difficult? So here we have a game with really good gameplay, a really solid story, a fantastic PC port, an open embracing of the modding community, and then on top of that, some other assets that will go unnamed. But Stellar Blade, unsurprisingly, was a monster runaway hit on the PC. In fact, the developers a while back said they were even expecting the PC version of the game to outperform the PlayStation version of the game, but it was around this time that I decided to activate my special power. I quote tweeted the news that the game was selling really well, and I said, PC gamers don't buy games though. Because this is the ongoing meme that PC gamers don't buy games. PC gamers just pirate all the games. There's no reason to port PlayStation games or console games or games in general to PC because PC gamers will just pirate everything. They just steal everything. There's no reason to do it. Never mind the 5 million examples of us PC gamers buying the shit out of games. But I just find it fun to poke the bear whenever this happens. I say poke the bear, implying that PlayStation fanboys and console fanboys are anywhere close to a bear. They're more like sugar gliders. You know, these little guys, these little dudes. I poke the sugar glider by saying PC gamers don't buy games. And you know what happened? People came into the responses of my tweet and actually tried to argue with me. So welcome to yet another episode of console fanboys staring down the barrel of evidence that PC gamers buy the shit out of games when you give them games they want to buy, and said fanboys genuinely trying to argue that this isn't happening and that PC gamers don't actually buy games. PC gamers are buying the shit out of this game, but PC gamers still don't buy games. It just gets stupider every time you people do this. Old Man Gaming Guru responds to me and says, Western PXC bots who play social media and benchmarks all day don't buy games. Look what happened when Korea/Asia went to sleep. Sneeze. This was at 6:37 a.m. their time. Then has a screenshot of the Steam charts where it's down to 40,000 in game. You know, making the argument that, oh, it's not peak Asian gaming hours, therefore there's nobody playing the game at 3:45 p.m. and there's still 40,000 people playing. So, just so we're clear, you think nobody in the West bought this game, and your argument for that is the fact that during non-peak hours in the West, 3:45 p.m. is not exactly peak hours for the West either, and yet 40,000 people were still playing the game. Like, I just want to be really clear. You're arguing that Western gamers didn't buy the game, and your argument for that is the fact that there are 40,000 concurrent players in the West during non-peak Western gaming hours. That's actually the argument you're trying to make. Do I even have to explain this? Ivan says, well, 150,000 copies sold is mediocre in today's standard. Just look at Mario Kart. That has over 1 million copies in just one day. Full stop. I'm not even going to read the rest of this, because you saw 150,000 concurrent players and equated that to 150,000 copies sold. concurrent players is not copies sold, how are we still doing this? Concurrent players means how many people are playing the game right now, and obviously not everyone who buys the game around the world is playing the single player game at the exact same time as everyone else. That's not how human beings work. If there are 150,000 concurrent players on a single player game, that equates to way more than 150,000 copies sold on that single player game. Because let me ask you a question. What percentage of a game's buying base is playing it around the world at any given time, do you think? Like, game launches, single player game, it's a game you play on your own time. It's not a game that exists on shared servers or peak hours or peak server times. It is a single player game that you play on your own time. What percentage of the buying base do you think is actively playing that game at any given time? During the launch window, I'd say like, I don't know, 30% of the buying base is playing it at the same time as everyone else. I think that's pretty generous. So imagine how many copies of the game have to be sold for 150,000 people to be playing at the same time. How is it even possible that it's 2025 and we still don't know the difference between concurrent players and copies sold? What you are saying here is that 100% of the buying base is playing the game at the same time as everyone else all of the time. That is obviously not how this works. How are you this dense? Michael responds, they actually don't buy a lot of games. Stop this. So, PC gamers buy the shit out of Stellar Blade. I make a little joke about how PC gamers obviously do buy games, and you turn around and your response is, oh yeah, well, no they don't. Michael, you need to do better than this. This is pointless. Why did you do this? Kaladin says how many were torrented. Well, if it's at the top of the Steam top seller charts, which is what the tweet was about how it's at the top of the Steam top sellers charts, and that there's a giant Steam concurrent player count, that would mean that in this context specifically, very few or none were torrented. I'm sure there are torrented copies of this game somewhere. Like, I'm sure that exists, but the Steam version of the game specifically is selling phenomenally well, and that's the version we're talking about. So, out of the concurrent player count on Steam that I'm referring to, very few or none were torrented. Do you have any understanding of how this works? No, of course you don't. You don't. You just want to talk shit about PC players for no reason. PC players are doing a thing, and you just want to deny the fact that they're doing the thing. It's like, why are you like this? Red Skies says, with how many PCs, laptops, tablets there are, these are terrible sales numbers comparatively. Just as PC players expect all 75 million PlayStation players to buy every game, we should expect that every PC player is buying this game, right? That's what they said when Astro Boy sold terribly. First of all, props for calling it Astro Boy, because, you know, retweet. I was doing that too. But there's several things wrong here. First of all, there's less games on the PlayStation, and also the PlayStation sells itself on its first-party IP. It is a captive audience, there are less games with less competition, and the platform itself is sold on first-party IP. So it is expected that a larger percentage of the user base will buy first-party IP when first-party IP come out. The PC is a much larger audience with like a comically larger number of games to play, so there's just way more competition for your dollar and your attention, and there's no corporate overlord on the PC that is selling the PC on the games that the corporate overlord also makes. There are PC exclusives, yes, but there's no like Johnny PC who's also making games for Johnny PC. No one expects every single PS5 owner to buy every single Sony game, but when the PS5 user base barely buys the first-party Sony IP, it's worth pointing out for all the reasons I just explained. And because of all the reasons I just explained, it's also not a great comparison to draw, because you're really just exposing yourself for having such a wild misunderstanding of how the PC market works. There are way more PC gamers worldwide. There are also way more PC games available. And also, because of how many PC gamers there are and how many PC games are available, that means the audience of PC gamers is much more diverse in what they're interested in. Their attention is split between many more things than there are on the PlayStation. This is something that I've been noticing a lot of console fanboys doing, and PlayStation fanboys specifically. It's like console fanboys will be talking about how PC gamers don't buy games. PC gamers don't buy games. They never buy games. And then PC gamers buy the shit out of the game, and they're like, yeah, well, you bought the game, but what percentage of the user base bought the game? It wasn't a big enough percentage of the user base, therefore the game didn't sell well. You guys just keep moving the fucking goalposts. If a game doesn't sell enough copies on the PC, PC gamers don't buy games. If a game does sell a bunch of copies on the PC, not a big enough percentage of the user base bought the game. PC gamers don't buy games. Like, dude, if you have to move the goalpost this much, you might just be in the wrong. Have you ever thought about that? Kevin Realm says, yeah, goons bought the game to see her naked. That's all they care about. Not the actual game, but for the nude mods. And 150k doesn't equate to a lot of sales, just shows how many degenerates are on PC. Which is funny that you say that, because if you scroll through the Steam reviews, yes, there are a lot of goon jokes, but there's also like an overwhelming flood of people who were like, dude, this game kicks ass. People saying, I love this game, the gameplay is great, the story is interesting, also the main character's hot. But also, 150k doesn't equate to a lot of sales. Like, it's like I said before, 150k concurrent. Enough people bought the game to the point that 150,000 people were playing it all at the same time, despite how many people bought the game and weren't logged on at the time, who weren't playing at the time, who were taking a nap at the time, who were at work at the time. There were a million reasons for people not to be playing the game, and yet 150,000 people all were at the same time. That does equate to a lot of sales. It's not 1-to-1, but it's representative of a lot of copies sold. Ugh, like I don't get it. A. Hansen says because stores don't sell games for it. That's the definition of a dead platform. I'll be convinced that PC gaming has made a comeback when stores have PC game sections that are the same size as console game sections. PC gamers buy more games than console gamers. That is objectively true. There are more PC gamers than there are console gamers. That is also objectively true. Just because Target and Walmart don't carry as much PC gaming stuff as console gaming stuff, that doesn't mean it's a smaller market. Most PC games are digital. How are you supposed to carry that in a store? Most people buy their PC parts online because there's just so many to choose from. You can't carry that in a store. That would be too much store space. You're allowed to say you don't understand how this side of the market works. One more. Escapism and Choice Advocate, who's becoming one of my favorite people because you never make any sense, says 150k sales is paltry numbers, Chief, especially since Shift Up hopes to sell more than PS on PIS-E Lamau. So unless we see more than 2 million on Steam, yeah, you don't buy games. What happens when it does hit that? You know? If Stellar Blade does hit 2 million on Steam, then what? Then what's the goalpost gonna be? Like, people like you will never be happy. This game is well on its way to selling 1 million on PC, like, immediately out the door. But I also love that you say, unless it sells more than 2 million, you don't buy games. So if it sells 1.9 million, you don't buy games. If it sells 2 million, we buy games. 1.9 million, you don't buy games. Yeah, guys, we don't buy games except for the 1.9 million copies of this one game. If we bought a few more copies, then we would have bought games. But we didn't crack 2 million. We only did 1.99 million. Sorry, guys, we don't buy games. If fucking Johnson over there would have just paid for Stellar Blade, then all of us would have paid for Stellar Blade. But since Johnson didn't buy a copy, all of us that bought the game, we didn't actually buy the game. Because fucking Johnson didn't buy the copy to push us over the 2 million mark. You fucking moron. I like seeing this game do so well. I wish it didn't have Denuvo in it, because that's just a very silly thing that they're doing right now. But I'm happy to see this game doing well. It's an extremely well optimized port. It's apparently a really good game. And I think it's setting a good example in terms of optimization from AAA games and PC ports. Again, I wish there wasn't Denuvo, but can't really do anything about that now. Just think of how fucking incredibly this game's going to run after Denuvo's inevitably removed. But my brain hurts. Just my brain hurts. You know that song by Screeching Weasel, My Brain Hurts? It's a good song. It's a good band. Listen to Screeching Weasel. They're fun. Dude, I just can't. Okay, I'm gonna do the Doofus Club now. Nate, Blast 1314, Jimmy Chops, Close the Door, I'm Touching Myself, Michael Muzio, Master Killer, Firestorm 2056, Demetrius Papagiorno, Showbiz, NCNA, Banshee, Tom Schnorlax, and Omega, Moltheme, Dan Porter Rivage, One Man Savage, Binary Deviant, Oracle, Unknown, 186718, Kev Dog 1992, Zombie Killer 5072, Official Dregs, Mash Star, the stupidest name imaginable for just for Joe, the furry of my Joe, Bear Brain, Epion 504, Grimsy, Edge Knight 1789, the Caffeine Addict, Corporal Dixon, Kushka, Unicorn Rocco, Opossum, Bender Fondue, Fanboy, Fuda House is my game of the year. Nintendo can eat my ass. Someone check on Harmon Smith. Tom from Spokane. Dial up. Kyle Ward 789. Sense Nakage. Non-Full Law. Table Biddies. Partial Mean 8. Nick. Vox Auto. JJ Justin Hale. Nubu Pubcot Sabit. Codman 4372WX. I need a stupid name for Joe to read out loud for everyone to see. Celler Hot Gold Pyrex. Zombie Fan. All around 01. Since you reviews cat in mail, I will shit under fridge. Go check. Doug Niggsy Smile. Snake Eyes 327. Devastator 2000. Joe, please let us touch ship, you sexy man. MK296E. I've stolen the moat. Joe, please get help. Hentai. Smock and Gamma. Elite Wolf. Fire Hazard 105. Club and Penguin. GWXSS. Brass the Wolf. Evan Co. OK Toodles, Tech Gaming, Jungle Zone, Slim Jim, Really Zerd, Gaming Dead People, All Games Video, Japanese name that means Stellar Blade is selling really well. Oh my god, Joe, Stellar Blade selling really well. That's what that says. Max Killer B2 Gaming, Biscuit 1101, Todd Howard, our Lord and Savior, Chris Void, Pope Rod, Father Racking, Jessica Spiral, Ricky, Jessica, I always do that, Jessica Shepard, Riki Spiral, Ricky Tiki Tabby, Muskie, I'm not hyped for GTA 6, it doesn't look that interesting to me, Crewman the Steel Angel, Payload Station is run by Ants, Stars and Jason Bond, Baron Von Rotterham, Cyrus 6771, Don't Call Me Doofus, it hurts my feelings, True Texican 940, I'm Joe's phone, text, notification, ding, MP4, and the first Doofus, Creed Warrior 23, Max the Chev, Chap is going away for a while, take care for now, Totally Insane, Even Dada Autry, Black Cobra, The End Slayer, Night of Cypher, ML04, I'm in 6 copies of Blink 2006 on Blu-ray, oh no, it's a bald Banana Man, Wolfman, Night Snake Rider, Pig Venus, Steve Wayne Studios, Film Kraken, Omen Gaming, Tariq Brown, Thorn Skate, Mag and Neck, Severin Evans, starting 03. It's a Kyle Laner for Kawhi mix of Pow Pow, Why Trouble, Donnie Weston, Nick Donegan, Draws Mex on Twitch, Come Hang Y'all, Gob Gobson, Rogue Winter 919, Bobby Hinder, Kenny Kitten, Fanny, Hangman for Hire, Elden Noble, Frost Crystal, Biogenesis, Ian Action, Floppy Fingers 97, Mega Key, Scruffy Skull, Ghost Toe, Ryuzaki, JoJo 6, Vast Grove, After Tim, The Amazing Blight Man, Blue Hook, Joe from Salty Salmon, Portland, Slap of Jeff, Fuck, I'm a fan of the Bugs Life game on PS1, Jody Breeze, Smitty, Jurger, Wegger, Jaeger, fucking Werger, Jaeger, Man Jensen. Max Lord the Chorl, fucking Max Lord the Chorlozord. Fuck my asshole. Max Lord the Chorlozord. Max Lord the Cholozard. Oh my god. McAdvertisement, Diego Garcia, Just My Kibigans, I'm American Idiot, Darth Muffin, Oh no, it's Justin Randroid, 20-way Mechanical Resonance, Roll 7, Joey Scoops, Negative Creep, Joe Taco, I'm a recovering alcoholic, Wannabe Hobo, Jidge, West, Billy 310 Char, Rob C, Veg, the Groovy Banana, Kurt Nallens Pack, the Scrum Master, Squirrel with a gun, makes my PP nuts, my PP nuts, Joe. Squirrel with a gun makes my nuts go pew pew. It makes your pee nuts? Your pee nuts, Joe. Fuck yourself, Toodles.